Alright, hello everyone. This is Zenzi Podfic. Let's just get right into it. This is Online Lessons by Ali_Ali. During the COVID, Peter is having his online lessons, but then he forgets about them and starts tinkering with some project of his. Alright, let's get right into it. COVID-19 was spreading havoc around the world for a while now, when Peter's school decided to finally put them on online classes. It was great news for everybody. The students didn't have to wake up that early, and the teachers could just mute the call if it got too loud. Everybody except Peter. May was on a business trip right before the pandemic, and now she was stuck there, so he was living with Tony in the Avengers Tower. He loved it here. His room was big, he had a view over a big part of New York, and he was living with his favorite people in the entire world. But how would you explain all this to a group of people that think you're a poor orphan and a liar? And that's what Peter was now thinking about. No one believed him about his internship. How will they react to his lab? That's the thing. Peter decided that it would be safer to have the online lessons in his lab than his room. He could easily explain the lab, saying that it is his workspace, but his huge room with all the new tech and giant windows is something else. Soon the day came, the first online lesson. Peter woke up later than usual and went to eat breakfast. Half of the team was already in the kitchen, so he spoke up. "Don't go into my lab for a few hours, okay? Well, if it's a life or death situation, you can, but I'm having my online lessons in there, so I'm having my online lessons in there, so I need to focus." He eyed everybody that was present. He got a choir of affirmations, but it was evident that most of them weren't even listening. He quickly ate his breakfast and went downstairs to his lab to set up his station. He wasn't actually going to use a computer, though. Why would he? He had Tony's holograms and all that. When the time came, he logged in to his first lesson. It was physics with Mr. Harrington. He was Peter's favorite teacher because his lessons were always interesting, even though Peter already knew most of it from Tony. Everything went smoothly. They didn't even have to turn on their cameras. But then it was time for chemistry. Mrs. Warren, who was teaching the subject, decided it would be a great idea to have them go through the entire lesson with the cameras on. In the beginning, it wasn't that bad. He was close enough to the camera for it not to pick up on the lab behind him. But then Peter's ADHD took over, and he began tinkering with some project of his. Said project was a cube that could freeze anything that it came to contact with. Peter was stuck on it for a few weeks now, but then it struck him. He quickly stood up, not paying attention to his class, and went over to some other workstation. Unfortunately for him, that action revealed the site of his lab to the rest of the students, who stopped doing their work and instead stared at his video feed. Even Mrs. Warren stopped teaching in favor of looking at him. He was oblivious to the attention he was getting, having fell into a creative zone, and he still would be if not for Ned. Bless his soul. Peter? He started, unsure, but then his voice picked up some courage. "Peter!" "Huh? Oh." Peter came back from wherever he was looking at the hologram holding his lesson. His eyes widened and he quickly walked over, trying to figure out how much they saw. Peter, would you like to explain what you were doing that was more important than my lesson? And what are you doing in such an advanced lab? Mrs. Warren finally spoke up. Yeah, Peter, Cindy Moon added. We'd really like to know. With her words, the entire class started to speak up all at once. Peter knew that he's got a lot of explaining to do. He started, it's for my internship? Alright, that is the end of this fic. I hope you enjoyed it. I guess like the video if you liked it. I will try to put the link of the link to the fic in the description. You should head over there and give the author some kudos. Let me know what you think in the comments. Sorry for any mistakes or background noises. My cats are making a lot of noise. This is my first ever podfic that I'm reading, so I'm still super new to all this, and constructive criticism and tips would be much appreciated. Bye!